So here's the thing. I find it really interesting how literally everyone on the internet hates Reddit. It doesn't matter who you are, what websites you use, liberal or conservative, it does not matter. If someone calls you a Redditor, them's fighting words. I'm pretty sure that's even true for half the people that use Reddit. It's one of the last remaining universal truths, and frankly, I find that beautiful. Still, this does raise a question. Why? Well, the general culture of the website, their weird superiority complex, and of course, the Reddit moderators. See, unlike modern websites which have hired teams of moderators,
as well as bots that do most of the work,
making sure everyone on the website is following the rules, Reddit does this through volunteer work from people who use the site. It's an older way of doing things, sure, but it's not the only website that does it. 4chan, Twitch, this fucking website. And it makes sense for Reddit to do this. The whole point of the website is that it's comprised of thousands of subreddits, all based on a very specific theme, with their own communities and rules. On paper, this would ensure that the people who are moderating these subreddits are people who genuinely care about these communities and want what's best for them. In practice, Reddit mods have a reputation of being delusional, power-tripping man-babies who flip out at the slightest provocation. I'm sure there are normal Reddit mods out there. It took so much strength for me to say that. But the reputation is there for a reason. And, especially lately, Reddit mods have been getting fucking wild. Scams, meltdowns, breaking and entering. All this and more will be discussed today as we talk about the recent wave of Reddit mod madness.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Starting off with one of the more tame stories, which is saying something given how this story plays out, r/art is a subreddit themed around art, dedicated to people posting and sharing the art that they make. Like this! However, over the years, much like all subreddits, it hasn't been free of controversy. In 2022, for example, the moderators banned Ben Morin, claiming his art was AI generated. When Ben tried to explain that it wasn't, and even provided a portfolio to show this, the Reddit mod responded thusly. I don't believe you. I gotta do a Linkara voice. I don't believe you. Even if you did paint it yourself, it's so obviously an AI-prompted design that it doesn't matter. If you really are a serious artist, then you need to find a different style. Because A, no one is going to believe you when you say it's not AI, and B, AI can do better in seconds what might take you hours. Sorry, that's the way of the world. What a fucking asshole. Hey, that's the benefit of my art style. AI ain't copying this shit. Oh, and then they muted him before he could even respond. You wouldn't think they would say something like, AI can do better in seconds what might take you hours. What the fuck? Isn't the whole point the effort that gets into it? Isn't that the whole reason why AI art sucks? You fucking moron. But the funny thing is, this isn't even out of the ordinary for a Reddit mod. This is to be expected. This is the standard, typical Reddit moderator behavior, which is why I just tossed it in here for context purposes. No, it's what happened a few years later that was truly extraordinary. Last year, in 2025, another, far more consequential incident took place on r/art. November 23rd, 2025. User Strawbear, real name Hayden Clay Williams, posts this to the r/art subreddit. Clear boundaries, Hayden Clay, Digital 3D, 2025. Wow, that's some damn fine art. And it seems this user agreed. Kinda need this for my office. I'm a therapist who explains boundaries weekly. I have a whole mini-series called Clear Boundaries, with prints available. Wow, what a completely normal interaction. Is what you say if you're an imbecile! You see, many subreddits, including r/art, have rules against self-promotion. You're not allowed to use the subreddit to advertise yourself in any way. Frankly, I think these rules are stupid. I get it if they're just spamming text posts that are just saying, come to my website, come to my website. But if they are just posting art and then have a link to their website in the description for more, I cannot imagine how that is in any way harmful to the community. Anyways, as you may have noticed, this comment has committed a grave sin by having the artist say that they have more art available to someone who is interested in seeing more of their art. The clouds parted, and from them descended the moderators, to bring forth retribution upon this fiend. User Strawberry is permanently banned from r/art. Are you seriously banning me for giving more information on my work?
No, I banned you for breaking our rules. But I can remove all of your old posts as well if you'd like.
Just delete the comment and move on. Sorry I mentioned the word print.
Your history has been removed. You're welcome.
At this point, this isn't about breaking the rules. This is about you having some sort of vendetta against me. My comment broke Rule 9, I get that, and apologize. This reaction is overstepping boundaries.
I don't even know who the fuck you are. That's some major main character energy there.
Says the power-hungry mod who deleted all of my posts because I asked a question.
You've been reported for harassment. Have a wonderful day.
Nice job making this sub a worse place for artists and those who enjoy it. Hayden would post this conversation to Twitter, where it blew the fuck up. For obvious reasons. What harassment? He said 5 sentences to you. That's not harassment, that's a conversation. But I guess I'm the idiot, because Hayden ended up getting a 3-day ban across all of Reddit for this harassment. Bite me. Also, the use of the term main character energy just boils my blood for some reason. I can't really explain it. Just call him an egotistical asshole like a normal person, you freak. This caused a lot of backlash from the art community online. Many people saying that this was an obvious abuse of power, that Hayden didn't really deserve the ban, and so on and so forth. Everyone expected one of 2 options. Nothing, or Hayden gets unbanned and maybe the moderator who did this gets in trouble somehow. Instead, they chose the secret 3rd option. Nuke everything. First, everything went quiet. The whole subreddit went on lockdown. No one could post, no one could comment. Then, a single post was made on November 26th, only 3 days after all this started. We out, you win, we all resign. And then every single moderator of r/art were stripped of their titles and removed, with the subreddit still on lockdown. And since there were no moderators left to unlock it, the whole community died right there. The only way there would ever be another post to r/art would be if one of the website's administrators got involved, the people who actually run the website. Luckily, r/art is one of the most popular subreddits out there, so they got right on that. If this happened to r/wastepbnj, they'd be fucked. Took them a few days, but eventually, on December 2nd, a new mod team was put in place and released a post explaining what the hell was going on for people unaware, along with some juicy behind-the-scenes lore. As it turns out, this was all done by one moderator, Neo Diogenes. Oh, fuck off. That's the most Reddit name I can think of. You know that guy was being 100% serious with that name. But yeah, as it turns out, after his interaction with Hayden, he just went fully nuclear, banned every other mod, and shut the subreddit down. One guy got so angry that people disagreed with something that he did, he threw a tantrum and almost destroyed a community of hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh, you don't like that I banned the guy? Screw you! Now literally everyone is banned!
The new moderators also released some statistics. Take a guess how many people were banned from r/art in the year 2025. Seriously, go on. Guess. That's right, 5,093 different people. Of those people, after a review, only 63 of their bans were deemed valid. As the new mods put it, this means that only 1.2% of all bans issued had a valid reason in 2025. Now this might sound crazy, because it is, but it's still the most tame example on this video. This is just a classic case of a Reddit mod power tripping way too hard. Though, of course, things got a little bit more out of hand than normal here. At least this drama was contained to the r/art community. However... Kinda crazy to think about the fact this all happened only a few months ago. It feels like it was so much longer than that. In the beginning of 2026, multiple streamers began advertising an upcoming reality game show called $1 Million Fan. The premise was simple. A Twitch streamer would team up with 2 of their fans, compete in challenges over the course of the season, and the winners would split the cash prize at the end. Not the worst premise for a TV show, I guess, and from a cursory glance, everything here seems legit. They had a handful of streamers on board, a couple of partners. On the surface, everything here seemed legit. But then you start looking under that surface. Who is actually doing this? Like, if you read the About Us page, it's just this long paragraph explaining the show's premise, but that doesn't answer the question of who's actually doing this. What company is funding this? I know it has partners, but you're not scrounging together 20 million fucking dollars from a couple of e-businesses. The closest answer is in their rules, where they define themselves as $1 Million Fan Reality Show 1 Inc., referred to herein as $1 Million Fan or the sponsor, is a Canadian for-profit corporation operating as a technology and media company that organizes and promotes sweepstakes events. The sponsor operates sweepstakes and skill-based contests, experiences, and separately provides application review and casting evaluation services. Any producer fees are charged solely for administrative and evaluative services and are not entry fees or considerations for chance. So, this is Canada's work, is it? Never trust a Canadian. Also, this doesn't tell us who's actually in charge here. There is not a single name given anywhere on this website. Also, let's take a closer look at that mansion they're showing off on the front page. This is an AI image. The interior is just a mess of brightly colored geometry. There's 2 trees on the left side, and only 1 on the right, which is weird because they're clearly doing some sort of symmetry thing here. And I don't even know what the fuck is going on with these railings here. You know, you'd think if a show was far enough along in production that it was accepting applicants, they would probably have the main settings sorted out by now. Speaking of AI, let's have us look at that About Us section again. This was clearly written by AI. Hell, I had ChatGPT type something up with a similar prompt and woo howdy, does it look almost identical. Alright, let's stop beating around the bush here. This was a scam. A huge scam. You see, one of the things I haven't told you yet is how you actually sign up. See, while yes, there is an option to just sign up for free, the website also offered emote packs. Fuck is that supposed to mean? Like a Fortnite emote? If I buy one of these mystery boxes, is Joel gonna pop out doing the default dance? But also, if you noticed, each pack counts for multiple entries for the chance to get on the show, versus the single entry you can do for free. Also, again, it never explains what the hell these emote packs even are and what am I getting for giving you the money for this? Compile that with the general sketchy nature of the website, and I think this is a pretty out-and-out scam. Oh, they're gone. Yeah, literally the day after Critical made a video on them, they just deleted everything and ran. Honestly, probably the smartest move.
Strong man, you pathetic weasel!
You may be saying.
The hell does this have to do with Reddit?
Shut up and listen, you dummy! There is one thing I haven't told you, and that is one of their listed partners. r/Livestreamfails is a subreddit for sharing clips of various live streamers. Let's watch the top post of today together.
Oh, I got a raid! From Imaru! Thank you!
Cool, I know who everyone involved in that was. Moving on. It appears an agreement was made between $1 Million Fan and the top moderator of LSF, Stale 2000, which involved him having some sort of pinned comment at the front of the subreddit directing people to the site. Once everyone realized it was a scam, he was stripped of his title, and that was the end of it. Or it should have been.
Hello, Spez, Mr. CEO of Reddit.
Hello.
This video is about a topic of deadly seriousness, and that is of Reddit moderation.
Oh dear lord, what am I looking at? Well, you see, after being removed from his position for promoting a scam, Stale's response was to make a video addressed to the CEO of Reddit, begging not just to have his position returned, but for Reddit mods to basically be treated like influencers and celebrities. This is one of the funniest videos of all time. He begins by saying that he became a Reddit mod not for the good of the community, but because he thinks that Reddit mods have a lot of power and influence. That's not a joke, he literally says that.
I became a Reddit moderator for one reason, and that is because I think that Reddit communities and correspondingly its moderators have massive power and influence.
And this is less than a minute in, folks. He goes on to tell his version of the story, which unfortunately contradicts fact. He claims that Amazon Prime was involved, which, as far as I'm aware, was never listed on the website, which you'd think they would want to list in their partner section. He also blatantly says he was deleting comments that were negative towards the production.
And I did delete comments which I thought would have been borderline defamatory if the situation wasn't, I guess, a scam, even though it technically hasn't been proven to be a scam yet.
Honestly, watching this, it just sounds like some old guy fell for a phishing scam and accidentally ended up scamming a bunch of other people along with him because he couldn't see the obvious red flags.
The thing that people were the most skeptical about was the $20 million grand prize. This initially confused me as well, but once I heard that, Amazon Prime was allegedly involved, my initial concerns were assuaded.
He also continually says that everyone got refunded, which is not true, and also, well, it hasn't been proven to be a scam yet, so you can't call it a scam.
Is that nothing in this situation has yet to be definitively proven as a scam.
Sure, you found the body in my bathtub, but it hasn't been proven I murdered her yet. Stale over here goes into a fucking manifesto about how important Reddit mods are and how their treatment is unfair.
Reddit moderators have power. They have influence. If you are one of the people who is joking about like internet janitor duties or whatever, I'm sorry to tell you, it's funny jokes, but you are wrong. Reddit moderation does matter.
By his own words, Reddit moderators have a lot of power because they can control and influence the perception of certain things across the internet at large.
Reddit moderators should be treated like celebrities or influencers, not because they deserve respect or anything, but because they actually have real power and influence.
Because of this, they should be treated like influencers and celebrities, again his own words, and should be given ad deals, partnership opportunities, lawyers, and sponsorships, all filtered through and provided by Reddit, like a talent agency for a real celebrity.
They need real material support. That means access to anything that like a talent manager would give an actual celebrity. So an access to a bounty board or ad deals or lawyers or event organizers or professionals or anything that actually matters.
And somehow this would end up benefiting the community, expanding it, and somehow doubling Reddit's user base. How the fuck is it supposed to do that? How is, I cannot stress this enough, 1984-esque Big Brother control methods at the hands of corporate America supposed to help make a community centered around fucking SpongeBob or Transformers or whatever better? It can make it better for you because now you're getting paid to do almost nothing, but why would anyone stick around for that? This would result in a max exodus of Redditors, which we do not want. We want those guys contained. Obviously, he got a lot of flack for this. People were making fun of him, mostly for his looks, which, yeah, he does look like the typical Reddit mod. He later tried to backtrack this and say this was some bizarre 4D chess move, and all I have to say to that is, do you take me for a fool, sir? Eventually, he ended up just kind of fading away into the ether of the internet and hasn't really been heard of since. This is the most recent story we'll be tackling today, as it's technically still developing. With that being said, when doing a video titled Reddit Mod Madness, I can't not talk about the most recent viral case of literal Reddit mod madness. April 7th, 2026, Fairfield, California. It's an average Tuesday morning. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the crackheads are lighting up their early morning crack pipes, typical California bullshit. When suddenly, at 9:03 a.m., everything changes.
Hi there, can you open this door, please?
For what?
Oh my god. He's perfect. I didn't think people like this existed anymore, but look at him. The trench coat, the hair, the glasses, the anime shirt, the socks with sandals. All he's missing is the fedora and the katana, and he'd be complete. But he makes up for it by the fact he identifies himself as a fictional character.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker.
This is like landing on a random island and finding a dodo bird. These people aren't extinct after all. Anyways, yeah, so let's talk about what you came here for. This is Jason Thomas Nichols. We don't dead name here, so we're going to call him by what he calls himself. Harry Dresden. Harry Dresden is the main character of the novel series The Dresden Files, following a wizard detective in modern-day Chicago investigating supernatural crimes. True to his detective roots, Harry is here to do some investigating.
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just figured I'd check on something.
However, after playing good cop didn't get the results he wanted, he decides to go bad.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this fucking door!
After that intimidating display, he decides to follow it up with some Batman-level interrogation.
Open the door. This is my neighborhood. Open the fucking door.
And then he does this. From that point on, he just kind of loses it. Slamming the chain against the door, screaming at the top of his lungs. It's fucking hysterical. Yeah, this video is hilarious. It's the mix of Harry's clearly misplaced confidence and the homeowner's just complete bewilderment with what's happening before him.
You know what my name is?
I don't know who you are. You don't belong to this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
I haven't seen a video make me smile like this in a long time. But then things get less funny. Despite what you may expect, this man actually did end up breaking into the house by breaking a sliding glass window in the back. It's important to note that while the homeowner was away, the house wasn't empty. His 5-year-old son and pregnant wife were still inside, which is what makes the following genuinely unnerving as Jason begins to storm around, still screaming about his supposed daughter, ripping open doors, and just being genuinely intimidating. At this point, he is a very serious danger. After about the minute, though, the homeowner suddenly returns, I guess he wasn't too far off, with a shovel. The confrontation happens off-screen, but we don't need visuals to know what happens. It comes to blows. Shortly afterwards, the police arrive on the scene, and Jason Thomas Nichols was taken away in handcuffs. Thankfully, no one was hurt aside from him, and a couple of bruises to the man that was defending his home. But that's not where the story ends. The footage ended up going viral, and here we are. There are a number of questions which arise from this, most obviously being, why? Well, by listening closely to what he screams at certain points, it's easy to piece together what, at least in his head, was going on here.
Victor, you around? Huh? You like raping little girls, bitch? I will save that little girl, you bitch!
It seems to me that, while clearly in some sort of manic episode, Jason somehow convinced himself that the homeowner had a secret daughter whom he was taking advantage of. However, it's important to note that this is not the first time that Jason did something illegal, as currently, on top of the charges he immediately got, burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, vandalism, and making criminal threats, one more was added on after the arrest. To quote the New York Post, on top of those counts, he, Jason Thomas Nichols, is facing a 5th charge of annoying or molesting a child under 18, which allegedly stemmed from an earlier incident. Fairfield police said the additional charge came after a witness reported an encounter between Nichols and the witness's child on April 5th. We don't have a lot of details on this at time of recording. The trial was supposed to happen today, April 23rd, but it's been put on pause temporarily for a psychological evaluation because obviously the guy probably needs one. But that's some serious stuff to be going up against. Like, obviously, I can't joke about this. If this is true, then that's horrible and this guy's a menace. But to lighten the mood a little bit, something that we do know isn't true is this.
Are you military? Yes. Okay.
He isn't. He just said that for some reason. I guess to keep up the tough guy act. Oh boy. And on that note, there you have it. Some of the most insane Reddit mod stories. What? Were you expecting this to have some sort of positive spin at the end, like the last few videos? Nah, man, these people are insane. I guess I'll say my last few videos have been doing pretty well, so thank you for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this one too. Let me know in the comments if you've had any wacky experiences with Reddit mods. Let's try and keep this wacky and not, serious and dark. Or Discord mod. Fuck it, I'll take anything. Let's just try and bring the mood up a little bit, Regardless, I'm Sir Strongman, and that was the thing.